And now, a special random segment. This is Troublesome Times. Unscripted, unedited, all done in one take. Because it's so easy, right? Since everyone else has a podcast, I might as well have one too. And no, that was not Drake you just heard. But if it could be mistaken for Drake, what does that say about everything? And where that's gonna segue eventually to some weird ass natural way. But first, I want to talk about my guitar that I just got. And it'll eventually build up if it doesn't get cut short again, or do another aborted saga arc. Anyway, so since the last podcast, this is gonna be fun because it turns out you're gonna learn about me today is that I did play the guitar. I don't remember how old I was anymore. I'm pretty sure I just started high school when I took guitar lessons. My first guitar is Calvin. He was pretty small. He was mistaken for a ukulele. Thankfully, the guitar teacher or professor, whatever you would call it, did say that it's not. There's a difference between a ukulele and a guitar. Yeah, obviously. And it was pretty small, so I can understand why people would get that confusion. And he was missing 6 strings. And Calvin was a bit of a troublemaker. But I really tried to make it work with Calvin because they're really. That's what I get for wanting to learn the guitar. And there's no one else around to do that. Yeah, so I was lucky to find. So why didn't I do this sooner? Series of unfortunate events happened. Really wanted that guitar. It was so long since I actually did play it. And then I didn't really want to buy like a really expensive. A lot of them were electric for one thing, and I started out with acoustic. So, and then the ones I did have were expensive. I didn't trust secondhand, okay? So, recently I was very lucky to find like a beginner because again I'm relearning it. I pretty much know you have to strum it and how to hold the chords, but I will say it's kind of hard. I kind of want it, like, I don't know, it is kind of tradition to name your guitars, right? So I let the name come to me. It took like quite almost a week, but my current guitar is Ryuk. So Calvin was named after my favorite comic, Calvin and Hobbes. Awesome comic. Little boy, stuffed tiger, 6-year-old with a stuffed tiger. Probably does really exist, not just in the imagination. Really do love that comic. I could wish there was more, but you know, the creator chose substance over like monetary gain, which I mad respect. So yeah, so that's alright. And so then it's kind of funny because now one of my favorite animes is Tiger and Bunny as of recent, and it's also named Wild Tiger, but definitely not in relation with each other, although it would be kind of cool, right? So currently, my current guitar is Ryuk. Ryuk is a black guitar with a interesting pattern, and he's a black lightweight guitar. Also, just as much of a troublemaker. And the best part is that when I actually got the guitar, Ryuk, the guitar pick I had was a big, thick red guitar pick. I didn't find it when I recorded it, relearning it for the first time. Because I was so excited, I kind of dropped everything else, like outside of my house. So when I actually found the accessories for Ryuk, he had he came with a big, thick, red guitar pick that was, no lie, the size of an apple. And I'm like, and then somehow Ryuk doesn't play as well without any other pick. I've tried like a more standard size kind of guitar pick. It's a little flimsy. I did try to make it work, but it seems to work well with the red guitar pick. So that's named Apple. So I'm like, you know what? It's like Ryuk. So I'm like, Ryuk in, named from also another favorite anime of mine. It's pretty cool. And I'm pretty sure like people are kind of wondering, well, yeah, I'm sure it sheds a lot of light of stuff. It's not really out of nowhere, and it's because it's interesting, like, because I criticized music in the past. I'm kind of an amateur when it comes to guitar thing. I really do try to do that. I do hold notes a little. I can actually not play the guitar as bad, but I don't have the room to have a piano in my where I'm at yet. Be nice if I could. I would like to do it with a keyboard, but and it would be a lot better. Like, don't get me wrong, but I don't have the room, and I have to clear it out. I still wouldn't have a lot of room. I really tried. Ryuk is next to my bat, which weirdly enough, I think when I named that bat, the bat was, I think, let me see, I don't remember the name of the bat. I don't know. I got a habit of naming things, okay? I know it's kind of weird. I mean, when you're a writer, like, there's a billion names to choose from, and it's just, it's, to me, it's very exciting to pick names, don't get me wrong. Yeah, so, even though I could have added, like, a bunch of beats and music, I have definitely sang, I guess, no, I guess I say it's more like a cappella, like a strange a cappella slam poetry style. And that was because, somebody that I consider family, it seems like the whole humor is, what, to me, like, the whole humor is like, what kind of music do you like? It's kind of, I don't know. And to be weird, like, it's kind of weird, because when I was actually first starting to watch the series in total, I know it's kind of, I think by now a lot of people caught on who I'm talking about every time I mention this person, but it's not that I'm ashamed of anything. No, not at all. It's a respect thing. And I'm just saying, you know what? He's been there. He's always been there for me in a way. So, like, fam. So, I guess it's kind of weird, right? Because back when, it's kind of a misconception. It's gonna be very, very weird to tell you guys this part, because I noticed that there's, like, a shift in how, like, the current audience actually likes the personas, the character, or whoever's in the videos. It seems like a lot, because back then when I was, like, a very young, what do they call it? I know it's called, whatever it's called. So when I was, like, in my young adult, when I started adulting legally and legit, um, like, it's kind of weird to say now, but that kind of style was actually frowned upon, was considered too cynical, too real, too raw, and then it's somehow, the humor of that was, back then, was actually, it was so bad, how can you handle it? And now, like, the current audience, it kind of turns them off, like, the cynical part, but then you guys need something to root for. I think that's the huge thing. Like, okay, you like it, but what's your point in saying, you guys are challenging, like, the I would say, like, the critic caricatures, or the personas, or whatever. You're like, okay, so we know it's bad. That's what you're essentially saying. You know it's bad, but what is your point? Like, and so it's kind of hard, like, being a female in a male dominated field. I think I, like, opened a lot of doors to that. So yeah, so actually, like, actually supporting, which is watching in a way, it was actually unconventional at the time. And I know, and it's weird. This is, like, I guess it's very interesting, right? Because I'm definitely that person that's like, well, of course, being as nice as I am, or I try to be, you gotta wonder why I'd be around, like, someone that's the opposite. And, well, I guess the biggest answer is, like, I try to, like, see, like, I try to make, like, everyone feel like they matter and include and all that stuff. Like, I just try to see the best in everybody, until, and I don't want to make assumptions. I find it really hard to dislike anybody. Usually when I do, I have, like, a major reason. It's usually a major reason. And then, let me see. I had something. And then the second reason is, like, these are things I'd always, like, would like to say, but I really, like, I was, like, pretty introverted, social, anxious, whatever you guys want to call, refer to it as. And it's like, it's the stuff I'd have on my mind and would like to say, but I wouldn't. And it's, like, really, really cool to have, like, somebody actually, like, be the one to say it. So, It's kind of interesting now because I'm starting to get that kind of feeling. It's kind of weird, right? Being like kind of known in a way like how you are. I can only imagine what it's like for other people who are known in their local area. But I think I've done some good because nowadays it's really enlightening to eventually hear like go take a shower as an argument you'll shower. I mean that's that's pretty based for you guys to clap back on people to shower. It's like just to friendly remind them to shower. I mean it is actually the best thing you can do and the most in your control. There is always a way to like just use soap, right? So, yeah, it's interesting. I seriously had more coming in. So, anyway, for now, and it's kind of weird. Like, I wasn't really gonna do it this like late or early, but I really, really, really just want to like relax. I haven't known relaxing in a while, like maybe ever. And being like at my time and just knowing what being relaxed is like, and then trying to like not feel bad about wanting to relax. I mean, that's that's a whole adjustment, I'm telling you. So, guitar, never die. I got some pretty okay, so that's the good stuff, right? So, I mean, these past 3 months have already been pretty wild, not gonna lie. And the craziest thing is that I like I say, I'm pretty. I think I'm pretty like easygoing with a ton of stuff, more than I should be. Maybe a little too forgiving for my own good. But it is things get really interesting. I'm sure there's a lot of things people are very curious about. Like no lie. And maybe eventually that'll all build up slowly. I'm not really sure what's going on yet. I do want to say that let me see. Yeah, so the whole animation thing is really coming like happening and when I really knew how much people really wanted to know about animation history and other studies that involve animation, right? Everybody wanted it, but nobody was like really challenging that saying, "Hey, there's some educational value." There's like so many things that have been inspired by animation to do stuff. I mean, we're talking about commentary, reviews, videos, drawing, art, and news, and just spreading information. Even the bakers love it. I finally found some counterparts. So you guys are technically part reviewers in some weird way. Hey, you want to make some very cool Pokemon cake? I can teach you how to do that. Just make them look like your Pokemon for your Pokemon birthday. All right? That is pretty based. I know. Took me forever. I know, and I really, really see. I don't hate the the one that I'm living under the shadow, which is kind of funny because I definitely tower over Rosanna Pansino. It would be kind of awkward because like it's just seeing like a moe version of people mistaken as me, and then like another anime version of me that's probably something out of like Kill la Kill or the more safer, friendlier version of the anime. Maybe something more like I don't know, My Hero Academia. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait. I think haven't finished that one yet, but hold on. I think let me double check that one. Oh, and oh yeah, I just remembered what I wanted to say. Oh, I swear to God, I just had her. Oh my god, yes. Yes, I knew she looked familiar. She legit could go as Ochacho Uraraka. Oh man, these names get much easier to pronounce, and I'm not being joking about that, by the way. So I think it's very interesting. Like at the same time, ooh, this is the fun part. And I don't know. I guess eventually things are gonna eventually come out. I might as well just come clean about a couple things. So I went to Wawa the other night, just getting the munchies. Sober, by the way. But I should say snacking. I wanted a snacking. So I went out, and then legit like an hour later, I see on TV something so unusual and so familiar, and my I guess my I was like stunned for a second. Like, I haven't felt that in a while, being stunned or whatever. And then I'm looking at the old man. I'm like, "What are you doing watching this?" And I didn't think he thought he was pretty unfazed by my reaction. I guess he looked like I was reacting, but I wish I really did record that, but yeah. Mm, that was pretty well played. Well played. What can I say? I can learn quite a bunch of things. See, that's the fun of being me, trying to learn a little bit of everything, is that you once you finish knowing something, you want to learn something else. I don't even know how that was done, executed, but man, I having that kind of clapback power is just pretty fire. I want to. It's. I guess I'm gonna get to my own anime saga arc or something like that. That would be very wild. Just and then eventually, just I don't know. Like the whole. It seems like it's like a strange moment. I mean, I guess like I wouldn't mention it because like even if I did, I maybe it's just one of those things where it's like it's it's I'm just glad it's not just in my imagination, and this is all documented so I can look back and reflect on everything, and knowing that wow, I really outdone myself. How am I going to outdone myself this time? Thankfully, I didn't wear my glasses, and so I cannot explicitly confirm if that is true. And thankfully, I don't know how the TV started being on mute. So, how would I be able to confirm something that is completely unsure of, despite the fact that there is somebody next to me just being in, like, just getting engaged in the whole whatever's on TV on a very unusual slot in a very unusual time, unusual content. But yeah, that's what I gotta say, right? So who knows? Maybe even though I did see and hear and kind of like had third party confirmation, this I guess this is where I gotta go against the grain and go, wow, isn't that pretty exciting? I love being able to think for myself and coming to my own conclusion and just finding all these kind of solutions to the hard questions. Yeah, crazy, right? So, weirdly enough, lately, I don't know how. I've kind of outdone myself, believe it or not. So, I have just recently done I guess I could say after a long time, I finally changed my TikTok profile picture. I'll get back to that in a sec. So, I actually like my latest TikTok, which is at the current time will be Leon Kennedy covering whatever. Pretty standard, I know. If anything about me at this point. So, I was just sharing my hot takes, my spicy takes on that, and it has became the top 5 most popular TikToks on my account ever. That is that's pretty honorary, right? Knowing that something hits, and it's gonna be pretty something. I will say, listen. Oh my god, I gotta address this. There's so much things to address. So much stuff's happened. Such a short amount of time. I'm really sorry that even though I have made you an honorary reviewer, an animation reviewer specifically, because you have covered that stuff in the past. I know you should be very happy that I have found a way to include you as an animation reviewer because your takes, spicy, hot or not, pretty memorable, right? Something that will always get like I cannot resist laughing. I mean, whoever is gonna marry you is gonna be so lucky, not me. Nah. be awkward. We're like fam, you know. Anyways, so I have to say, yeah, I know you believe that you're the people with other similar counterparts are mindless slop compared to yours, but you should see how many videos there are. There are over 420 that are indie animation pilots, and there's like at least over 50 of the reviewers right now. And this is not, and there was so, and I noticed with the 80s and the 90s kids, a lot of people cover content outside of animation because it was kind of taboo to be openly like enthusing or expressing your admiration for animation. I really do feel bad that, you know, your counterparts that make similar content are mindless slop, but it is genuinely not easy to find like everybody and everything to compare with. I am really trying. I mean, you don't find over 2,000 videos of animation related material, 420 indie animations, or what could be like digital online animations, and at least 50 of animation reviewers without taking a lot of time. I promise you, I really did take so much time compiling all of that, and most of it is chronological order, except right now for just to like meme and mess with people right now. I should fix that. Goes to show. Oh, and yeah, another funny announcement, and we'll get to that eventually soon if I remember. So yeah, once I find, you know, better, higher quality material that have covered like counterparts similar to yours, I think there's gonna be quite some changes. Bro, do you know how long? Like, I'm pretty sure, like, you know, the famous Rosanna. Well, my name's not Rosanna, but the famous Ro was probably thinking I had some irrational hate boner, and I was low key the whatever the little her favorite roasted peanut. I was like a slow key roasted peanut fanboy, her favorite roasted peanut fanboy. But that is the same reason why it took you so long to be included in the animation reviews. They needed similar stuff. You know how crazy it would look if I couldn't find anything that was similar? So yeah, I get it. Like making it was AI slop in your opinion, but I swear that's gotta make you look good in comparison. I mean, you're gonna be part of history of this stuff if we keep this up. I mean, I definitely do believe in it. So you're probably wondering right now. So I had to, because there's so much demand, and you know, once people caught on, there's gonna be so many people. I'm telling you, they want it, and it's been interesting. But this is like my advice I had, because I had to be very careful what I say. Oh, by the way, I already automatically selected you, like, because I needed a Canada branch anyway, Canadian branch. So if you're planning to stay there, or if you manage stuff already there, I'm just saying, like, you're great, you're honest, you're real, you know what works. So you know what? Yeah, that's why we gotta have you around, like people like you around. That way we know how to be better and just beat the system. Help us beat the system. Well, not me, because I don't really play like real music yet until I'm finally done. I get good enough and I can finally mess you by playing somewhat dissonant chords that are somewhat listenable. Anyway, so I was just saying, once I realized that like, you know, there's got to be a little team we got to make, and I guess I'll make you part of that team, because, you know, Team Canada right there, and then I need like Team England right over there, and then eventually Team, like, I'm Team American for the moment. Team wherever, right? UK, North America, Canada. Oops, that's the same thing. So, and then all this stuff, like a team, and then you know, so you can kind of imagine so many people are gonna want to be a part of that team, right? So then we got to be very careful, because, you know, I'm pretty picky. Like, I'm picky with like animations to watch in a lifetime. Definitely coming up with that. And then, you know, I gotta like have like people that are passionate about it, know quite a lot about it, want to learn about it, know a lot about it, and then are just willing to accept the facts as it is. Because guess what? your favorites are not your best, not the best, or not going to be considered the best. I know, right? Like black and white. For me, black and white is like, yeah, I gotta accept black and white, even though I really, 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 really love color, like vibrant color. I also have to accept hybrid animation because that was like the early roots of animation. I mean, look at the Disney's first cartoons. It was a live action animation hybrid of Alice in Wonderland. And by the way, it seems like Alice in Wonderland is like the animation animated count adaptations to make, because I've literally, I can swear to God I've seen at least 10 that were animated, not including Disney. It's actually insane, like how much it's beautiful, right? So again, and another thing that I also have to accept, I also have to accept that Steven Universe has been kind of groundbreaking, though I haven't really seen enough of it to know. I'm pretty sure it's great, but it's not fair. Sorry. So I did this as kind of like my advice, is like, okay, guys. And so a lot of you did not have the best history. I mean, we're kind of, I'd have to say we're known as the cringe, the cringiest around. But that's why we're also the most welcoming, right? Because we gotta be there for each other. However, so that's why I got to start like stepping it up, right? That was my advice. Like, do that. And then I'm telling you, like, I know what I'm doing. We gotta make ourselves look legit, step it up, and whatever, right? So, and then I say, okay, so there's not gonna be a very big T right from the beginning. And even if it does, it's still gonna be select people anyway. There's so much demand. Not even funny. I want to cry a little, but you know what? It's tears of happiness, I promise you. So, there's a difference between liking animation and then knowing animation, from the style to the studio to the creator to the backstory to the history to the documentary, and explaining how each and every process is that revolutionary. Like, why it's good, but you need to know why it's good and how it's good and how it's going to be impactful then, now, and in the future. I'm telling you, that's very hard ass shit. Very, very difficult to do. Like, I'm telling you, I love the passion. Don't get me wrong. We definitely need it. That's why it's going to matter. But so when I say we gotta be formal and know stuff, like, I'm telling you, you gotta know this stuff, and that's hard. Like, I seriously thought I knew stuff before I actually started taking this seriously, and I'm telling you, I'm still learning more things. So, I guess, like, I'm trying not to be like a high bars. Like, I know I was gonna originally say, call at least one college degree, but you know what? The truth is that might be a little counterproductive. Yeah, I do think wanting to know knowledge is whatever. So, I said, look, in this, you really, really, really gotta stand out. There's people that were potential, not naming names, don't want anyone to, like, really influence anything, right? So, I said, whatever you do, you gotta remember, everybody's gonna want this. You're gonna want to stand out, whatever. I'm trying my hardest to stand out a lot, right? So, and I'm seeing, there I go again, just talking about animation. I can actually make a whole channel just about animation, but I really, really don't at this point. Like, I'm like, one channel, one thing. I'm just saying that's how you bring people in, right? Just know a little bit of everything. So, I gotta say, I kind of love, once that was made in the open, a lot of you, dang, wow, I'm getting, the process of elimination is getting real. I really love it. I absolutely kind of love, like, who I can pass and who's staying, and the people that are staying are really gonna matter. And so, I know, right? Crazy. I did this all without mentioning any names, right? Right, because I definitely see, there's my motive, there's my agenda, or whatever BS, like, people are gonna, like, just curate in for such the latest hot topic, scoop, hot take, whatever, right? So, I'm saying, to me, like, it's wild, isn't it? Man, I seriously had I didn't even do an outline this time. I just had so much on my mind, and I gotta say, it's been pretty something. It's very weird, right? I just, I was just thinking to myself, how do I stand out in when it comes to that topic? Like, how, you got to rate yourself. Got to put yourself standard. You got to find out what's the standard, make that bare minimum, then try to go above that. Right? That's my trick for everything. Right? And that's why it's kind of weird, right? Like aim big, shoot big, aim big, go big. Right? Aim high, shoot high. Right? I'm telling you. Standard should be bare minimum. Try to go above that. Okay? Whatever go above standard, you're going to go above bare minimum, stand out. That's how it should be. And it's kind of interesting, right? Because it's kind of crazy knowing that, like, because I've been posting content online, not in video form, since I was 10 years old. My own writing and all that, just wanting to get into animation. And then, when I was like 11, I started making AMVs for Danny Phantom. Got really popular at 12, and then stayed at DA, trying to do some little drawings and whatever. And then, let me see. And then I think I went back into writing like fan fiction again. Like I did start at 11. And then I went around, that's when I started going around conventions for cosplaying. So it shifted from the art because I really didn't know what a scanner was then. So I actually made decent drawings. And then I didn't have a scanner, so that never really went through. And then I didn't really know how to have a tablet. And then, so then I did photography of cosplayers. And then at 16, I also made like, I had like a huge, like little blog, simple blog. That's when I really, really made it through. And then when I was, and then it kind of like got delayed because I ended up doing theater with Z at 16. I got very close with people. Well, but that's for another story. It's like, okay, so I guess like it's kind of hard to talk about because I will say like like my first serious relationship was before like was 16, but I was just 16. And then I was getting started in the theater when I was 15. And then shortly after, I actually had to help with working on a theater play for the end of the year. I still remember to that day like how like it was actually pretty packed then. And then I gotta say I it's kind of weird because I think about how Tiger and Bunny could have helped my self-esteem, but I made some pretty like probably some of the best times I had there. And I guess the reason I don't like to mention it too much is like it had a big part to do with my photography. That was kind of one of the reasons why it was kind of hard to start posting photography again, because when you think that you're going to just take pictures and all that. And it's kind of weird. It's very, very hard to find pictures of me when I was young because I would try everything possible to avoid pictures taken of me. And so the compromise was that I would actually be the photographer. I had a feeling knowing how that was going to end, I was going to end up being them anyway. And then what happened is that the other models got jealous and then started to, and it got so bad that I honestly didn't know what happened at the end when I was like 17. Thankfully, it was like I just went like wanted to know what happened. I wanted to keep tabs and up to date. And then I was thinking like I just don't, I didn't want to hold anyone back. So I said, now just no, it's fine, just do whatever. And I don't even remember. I just like pretty much said, yeah, just do that, try to do your own thing, be successful, whatever, right? So, and then so then I eventually moved out of state, so I couldn't really do that little blog thing anymore. And then, let me see, 18, and then I started going on Instagram to try and do like, because when I was like, when I was like new adult, like young adult, I actually did start working out. I guess to like kind of cope with everything that happened, like and all that stuff. And I did take on like a persona that actually it kind of went downhill for me, mostly because it kind of like affected how I was. And then when I was, let me see, yeah, started the Instagram to do work on my fitness thing. I don't think that's worked out as much for me. I like to try more. It did make me though kind of know my work, like fitness a little, like workout and stuff. And then I see I eventually moved back, and then I think that's where I kind of had my real hiatus. I no, I think after a while, yeah, like I did have like a brief hiatus, and then around my early 20s, I actually went on TikTok just to like find just to see like just to like basically a meme on a tracer, and then found out there was like so many ways. It was kind of easy to get views that way. That's kind of like how my dog kind of got like famous, because I actually like that. And then at 25, everything else at that point, I had some normalcy in some way, because at that, like I said, I'm a self-made online figure. So for the most part, I had a normal life in some way. But I remembered the last day I had a normal life at all. And I never went back. It was May 24th, 2020. And the crazy thing about it is, I it's kind of easy to assume that I did. It would have been like pretty miserable, but looking back, and it was probably the best day, one of the best days of my life. Last time I was a viewer, last time I was a spectator. And just for a moment, just for a few hours, everything was normal. And ever since, I just knew that was the very last day I had any semblance of normalcy. And should I? I mean, should I look at that fondly? Why not? At least I had some idea what it was like, even if it was like in my own chaotic way. And then, so what happened shortly after that? I did make some videos on YouTube. I did make some more TikToks. I finished with everything debt free. I'm about to finish with this thing like debt free. I have a college degree. I'm gonna get another one. Yeah, it's almost finished. Went back on YouTube, making videos regular on that. Still probably going to. And then at age something, I mean, it's just been going up. I've pretty much accepted all of this, and the entire time up until this year, I don't know. It's just, I was a different person, I gotta say. I mean, even recalling a lot of stuff, I just feel like, I'm reflecting back on everything. I talk back about it for too long. And, you really kind of see like a lot of crazy, wild stuff. And to answer that, it's like, it's kind of hard in a way. It's, in a way, you gotta have really, really thick skin to be an online figure, no matter how good you are, no matter how much you hadn't made it. Like, there are some things that a lot of people, they have that take for granted. And then, I'm I don't, like I say, like it's kind of like crazy thinking, wow, I was a pretty different person. I don't even know if I'd want to talk about anymore in this podcast. Like I say, there's a lot of stuff within me. And then it's like, dang, right? I imagine like I could have actually been a cosplay photographer, well, a photographer that specializes in cosplay. Wow, that would have been an awesome dream, no lie. Even then, my plan B would have been a portrait. And it's kind of weird, right? Knowing you have like a no, one of the reasons, believe it or not, is actually like, like one of my cousins is really into fashion, and like as always going to be that. I guess like that would have been another inspiration too. Like, and then actually having to capture theater and then having to capture cosplayers. I mean, it's kind of wild, like having to actually do that. No lie. So it's like a lot of these things isn't out of nowhere. It's like 20 years of being living this kind of lifestyle. Do you think it's worth it now? I'm the product of this kind of environment, and somehow it's been like I didn't think. You think people like I guess the best way to say it, people think that they want it until they get it, and then they realize like it want like you guys had a choice to do this. Like for the most part, I didn't know what was going on, and for a choice, maybe would I have like not done it? No, I don't think so. Not at all. I just love animation too much for that to really even matter at this point. It would have happened eventually. But it's kind of great knowing that I guess the hardest really is that all these people and they come and go because they were not cut out for it. That's the hardest part in a way. Knowing that, you find some kind of connection and it's legit and it's real and they weren't cut out for it. And it becomes a cycle. And I think, despite everything, that is the hardest part of the entire thing. Just know that even if you can handle all the constant criticism, the constant always having to be like on the like, be very aware, and even always having to step up whatever you have to and adapt to that, know that even then, like sometimes people that you think are around are not going to understand, and the ones that do understand in some way weren't cut out for it anymore. Right? So I'm not saying don't do it, but just know that this is what the reality of it is. And it's great. Like I think like I have a great support system in a way. Like that don't and it'd be nice to know having so I guess like the people that I would consider like, like legit like fam friends whatever or anything. I'm not really expecting much at this point. I guess that's why it's kind of like very like important that they were cut out for this, even if they don't think they have been for a while. And I just think that that's it's the first time I've ever felt that way in a while. Just like feel like all of this mattered in a way. And in 2 months, I don't really know what's gonna happen, and I could try I can just keep wondering and wondering and wondering, and I guess I should take my own advice. I think the best thing I probably did was funny because I guess the best the best moment I've had, believe it or not, actually the best day, one of the best days of my life now is actually on May 24th, 2025, right? Five Something's crazy is always happening my birthday, and I kind of it's like, well, yeah, sorry, why didn't I mention that song that's a satire and probably the most anti song ever? It might have been because I was too busy in Atlanta watching an animated pilot of someone I've always watched and was starstruck since like for the past 15 years since I was like teenager with the that could be family too, and just watching an animated pilot before everybody else. Like I'm sorry I was so busy like with that I hardly noticed anything else, and I think I acknowledged it like a week or a month later. Like I'm really sorry that May 24th, 2025 was the best time was probably one of the best days of my life, just because I thought to myself, you know what? No matter how this goes, at least I did it. At least I didn't get cold feet this time, like before or any other time that I've ever had opportunities similar to this. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad like I know once I get specific, people are gonna know because somehow these days, so every time like I'm around something unusual always happens. I looked at one of you in the eye and told you something that I really hope stuck by because I do. Even though like people look down on whatever, I see a lot of potential. Like I know how this has been like, being this whole thing since whenever. So I don't want to get too specific because I really see that's the thing. I'm like one of those people that are like I get me. I don't want to have main character energy. Believe it or not, I wouldn't want main character energy. So you guys can have your main character energy. I'll probably pass it around to you. I got too much main character energy. I'll just pass it all to the rest of you. Here. Let's all have the rest of it, right? Yeah. So, oh man, once people are gonna connect the dots to that, that's gonna be very fun. Yeah, and I guess I might as well say, I got really excited and I thought I lost, my like these things. I kind of like went. I probably went like, man, I should have been. That was a pretty like wild impression. I always make like those kind of wild impressions, and then I was kind of thinking to myself, wow, I hope I didn't ruin anything. That would be kind of me if I ever like go anywhere. Like, oh, I hope I didn't ruin his day. And I'm one of those people that'd be like, I hope I made your day. Like, that's definitely me. So I guess like it's almost an hour. I didn't mean to talk this much and this long. Always have so much in my mind. I got like a popcorn machine for a brain, popcorn brain or something. Yeah. So I I don't know. Like I say, I'm actually kind of looking forward to what's gonna happen. I wish I can tell you guys. I really can. And I'd really love to. And I have so many things I don't want to say, but I guess like it's kind of crazy, right? I always end up being like like I always got like great like takes that hot takes that kind of like held up pretty well. And I guess like that's kind of the thing I'd want to say is like I just no let's have that main character energy, right? Like just that hot take is right, top hot take moment. So I guess you guys can start having that too. And yeah, so that was pretty fun. One more thing, I'm very excited where to go this time. I've waited so long for this. I've been brushing up on everything and man, I found something that I had analyzed and I was so happy because it actually knew what it was and I think I'm ready to read it out. I'm just like I don't even know what's gonna happen once I go like on this like crib I'm about to go because I don't want to mention too much of it. I mostly because it's a moment I've been wanting for myself and I'm pretty nervous and then like there's so much crazy stuff happening and I don't know. It's gonna be crazy doing it all over again and dang, I just only me, right? So anyway, I guess how would I end this is that wow, I think the best part was about the doing this thing is that it has been anything but boring. So, if you haven't done this yet, don't forget to pet your pet. And I hope this has been a great podcast to clean, shower, exercise, and pet the pets. So, I guess I'm going to head off now and then you guys can enjoy the rest of your day. So, all right then. So, until then, stay safe. Until, see you soon, I guess. I almost forgot. Oh, I have something happening on May 9th. It's a bit of a celebration for me, myself, and I. And my family has said that not to post about it on Facebook. They never said I couldn't post it in a video, a podcast, or whatever. But if I had to invite anyone, if anyone else can't really make it, I guess I would invite the whoever wrote that response to me. I am not really gonna say what it is specifically, but I think you need whoever it is, like, definitely needs to have like needs some to be cheered up. So I'll do that. I'll definitely a friend's friend of a friend's or something. I'm definitely that person where I can be just pretty chill and vibe with anyone for the most part. I guess like it's like wouldn't be a very unusual thing to for something. So I guess whatever happens happens. So okay, fine. I'm again. I'm the worst at goodbye. So stay safe and see you soon.